Good afternoon and welcome to today's webinar co-organized by Hult International Business School and Google. My name is Tanja Levine. I'm the Executive Director for the EMBA program at Hult, and we are very delighted to welcome today our special guest speaker, Jens Quadbeck, a Google Industry Head Financial Services from Germany. Jens is going to share with us today insider leadership advice from Google on how Google encourages innovation and how Google scales up innovation. Innovation is something which is very important for Hult Business School as well. As many of you will know, over the past 10 years we have actually built the world's first global business school with campuses in the US, close to Silicon Valley in San Francisco, Boston, then in Europe in London, Middle East, Dubai, and in China, Shanghai. And through that truly global approach, we have created now the world's largest graduate business school. As you can see in the attached chart, right now we are leading and we are extremely strong in our MBA program as well as our master programs, and increasingly also getting size with our executive part-time MBA studies. Now, at Hult, it is incredibly important to have a very diverse student body. Our students stem from over 127 nationalities around the world. You'll see in this pie chart, a picture speaks 1,000 words. We truly are very international, and that is a very strong source for innovation as well for us. We have risen a lot in the rankings since we have gone global. We are now ranked by the Financial Times #1 for international experience and amongst the top 1% of business schools globally. And The Economist has ranked us number 29 in the world overall and #1 in the world for fastest return of investment. And so far we have seen a really positive trend when it comes to our enrollments. Our value proposition has proven to be successful, and we are definitely keen to continue encouraging innovation also in our business school, working very, very closely with a lot of companies, with the corporate world, be that through action projects or consulting with them. You see in this chart here several well-known brand names, whether it's P&G or IBM or Nike or Philips. Our global talent pool of students work on business situations or challenges these companies face today and try to set up convincing business recommendations and plans forward to drive innovation and then present to the directors of that company trying to make that change happen. We also offer a lot of executive speaker inspiration, whether those speakers come to our campus or whether we deliver these speakers to you via webinars. Some of these pictures may seem familiar to you, whether it's the founder of Wikipedia or Richard Mercer or John Scully or Jimmy Rogers or President Clinton. We regularly have inspiring leadership personalities at our campuses. Now, with that, and before going into more detail at how important it is for us to really make sure we mix theory with a lot of practice, I would actually like to turn over the presentation to our Google Industry Head, Jens, who is going to share some very inspiring slides with you on what innovation means at Google.
Hi everybody, I hope you can hear me. It would be great if somebody could just raise their hand or give me a little hint that you can hear me right now. If so, okay, great, thank you very much. So it's great to be here. It's a big pleasure to give you some insights on Google as a company. My name is Jens Quadbeck. I'm leading all our relationships at Google that we have with the financial services industry over the countries Germany, Switzerland, and Austria. And what I want to do today is to share with you some insights on what makes Google actually innovative, because we believe that innovation is at the heart of our business, and I will come back to that a little bit later on. First of all, why is innovation so important for Google as a company? First of all, just a little sentence that has been said by the CEO of KPN Telecom actually quite some time ago, but We have seen more change in the last 10 years than the previous 90, and what he means is that with the internet and the global web, business models as well as company structures, the way we communicate has changed significantly, and everybody, even companies, even traditional companies, have to adapt to those changes in order to be successful and in order to be competitive in the foreseeable future. Why is this important? Again, a little example by Emperor Wilhelm II. I believe in horses. Automotives are temporary nature. Everybody who doesn't get the notion that something important is happening right now will stay on the back of his traditional horse and will be overtaken by time and new technologies, and will not follow the developments in time. What Eric Schmidt says, our former CEO, innovation is at the heart of our business. So the question really is, what makes Google innovative? I mean, Google is from outsiders seen as a company who is innovative, so what makes us innovative? And what I've collected for you is just some principles that I believe are very important in our organization, in the way we work and the way we cooperate globally. And I want to share these principles with you. And the first one actually is very important for us. Focus on your users. Users and one. As you can see here, we didn't say focus on your customers. What we say is focus on your users. And why do we say that? Because we believe as long as our users keep using us and keep using Google as a website, we believe that money will follow as a very as a next step. If you focus, if you make your users happy, if you deliver them the best value you can have, and if you are innovative and if you offer them innovative services, then they will stay with you and they will be the basis for all the developments that come in the future and the monetization of the services that you offer. Second point, and we feel that this is very, very important as well, hire the right people. There's a notion of we only hire people that are googly, and there is some true value in that. We want to make sure that even if we are now a company that has 30,000 people working for them, that only if all 30,000 are the right people who think like we do, who are innovative, who believe in good ideas, will and can be implemented and are the future of our company, only if we have the right people on board, we can be successful not only today but the next 10 years as well. Third point, ideas come from everywhere. If you have the right people in your organization, are heard, said, and can be heard. We internally have many different ways of doing that. We have kind of platforms. We have internal systems. We have internal discussion platforms where every voice has the same value. It doesn't matter whether it's coming from an engineer, somebody in sales, or from our CEO. Every idea is as important as anybody else's, and if we democratically believe that an idea is a good idea, no matter who had it, this idea is heard and actually implemented. I have some people in my team, junior people in my team, who had good ideas regarding Google+, regarding YouTube, regarding our AdWords services, and which are implemented right now. And you can think of all the motivation that these people take out of getting an email from Mountain View, from engineering, saying that we feel that this is great, we allocated some resources on that, and we are going to implement it. Fourth point, 20% for innovation. What does that mean? It means that anybody in the company actually has the right to do 20% projects every quarter. We plan our activities quarterly, and we make, it's called OKRs, objectives and key results, for the company and as well as for every team in the company, and everybody has the right to spend 20% of their time on innovation, on innovative projects, on new things, and from these 20% projects, some very important products that we have today, like Gmail, you can see them on the left-hand side of my slide, AdSense, but also Google News, came from. There was just, it's a very famous example. We had one engineer who said the way you can find news in the internet is not very efficiently and effectively connected. He had problems finding news in the web. So what he did was, inventing a new way of finding relevant news, of judging what is really relevant for users, set it up, dog fooded it. What that means, I will come back to this point a little bit later. And now Google News has really changed an entire industry. Fifth point, eat your own dog food. That's what we constantly do. I get daily mails with new services, with new features, saying that we have created something, and please test it. We want to get your feedback and as much feedback as we can. So every Googler, everything that we launch and that we send out to the market is actually dog-fooded by a certain number of Googlers internally, and you can believe these people are really the most serious and the most critical testers you can find actually in the entire world. There's no one who is more critical about what we are doing than our own Googlers, who test them, who has to have the possibility to access new developments at an early stage and give feedback to the project team and to the people involved. Sixth point, courageous penguins are a good thing. Actually, what we believe is that failure is actually part of the innovation process. It's so important that you have in the organization the notion and a culture of it's better to take risks and to do something new and to do something innovative, and to have the risk that it's not actually going to work than not doing anything at all. So we have had some products that have been switched off from the web. Google Wave, for instance, is one of those, where we just feel we didn't have the right success or the right product for the time, and we just decided that, well, this is a project that we should postpone, that we should integrate in others, and we switched off the product. The people involved are not being seen as having failed. They are being seen as heroes. They tried out something, they did something new, and they are very welcome. They are very welcome to do anything new in the future, anytime they want, and to come up with new ideas. And I think that's very, very important. Many companies I've seen from the inside do not have this culture. Creativity needs boundaries. What does that mean? We feel that even though being innovative and being creative, you need to have some kind of boundaries in which you should be working. Not, the product in the beginning, the 20% projects are being reviewed. They are being discussed with the managers, and the hardest boundary actually what we have is the deadline. When we say we take 1 quarter to test something, to develop something new, at the end of the quarter we will actually look at it. We will assess it. We will make an evaluation and see whether this is going to be successful or not. Boundaries are important. They shouldn't be restricted to the innovation process, but boundaries are definitely important in the process. Number 8, share as much information as you can. I've never seen any company that's more transparent and open than Google. And I've been working before Google for some traditional and also traditional companies as well as startups. It's very important to share information and to make anything as transparent as possible, because with this information, with this information, many people can actually think about the problems or the issues that you have, and can restart an innovation process and come up with new ideas how to solve these. Last but not least, even though we are very innovative, we always look at the numbers. We always look at the success of different projects. We always try to find hard facts to prove an argument. We are a very unpolitical company, so if you have the right numbers, if you have the right arguments, it doesn't matter whether you are, let's say, a simple, don't get me wrong, but if I say that, if you are a normal engineer or if you are senior vice president for engineering, at the end, numbers is what's counting and not politics. So it doesn't matter where an idea comes from, as long as it is a good idea. So looking forward, I always get asked, what will the internet look like in 5 years? Where is all the innovation process heading to? The answer I always give is, for me, it's very hard to say where the internet is going to be in 5 years. The only thing I can say is, you have to make a choice whether you are going to, create the future, or whether you are going to be surprised by the future. So the best way to predict the future is to create it, and innovation is at the beginning, at the heart of this creation process. So finally, my message to you is innovate, take all the changes that we have in the environment, in the web right now as an opportunity and not as a threat. There's so much things going on right now in the internet, in the global web, and just try to take it as an opportunity and not as a threat. If you think like that, innovation will come automatically. Thanks for your attention, and I'm more than happy to answer questions if there are any.
Hello, everybody. Jens, thank you so much for a really very inspiring session on insights at Google. No wonder that Google is continuously ranked in studies with MBA students in the US as well as Europe as the most desired companies MBA students would like to work for. A really good ground to actually drive more inspiration and innovation. From Hult's side, a few closing words before we then go into the Q&A. Now, we left before at Hult's Innovative Leap curriculum and the approach. Companies like Google or IBM or P&G or others, we regularly do company visits in the US and in other regions. We also, do work with them on business situations or challenges they face today. We do a lot of learning in the class in small teams of 5 to 6 on a rotating basis with around 30 different nationalities in one class. That makes for a lot of learning when it comes to leading global and very diverse team. At Hult, our students are also influencing our elective curriculum. During the global rotation summer months, we have a wide choice of different courses, and every year the students feed back to us which course they feel was particularly interesting or which courses they would like to add to that. And so we as a school are very collaborative when it comes to listening also to our consumer and offering lifelong learning through free electives every year. If you graduate at Hult, you could go to any of our campuses or any cities of the world where we run master classes, and you can attend them for the rest of your life. Now, innovation is a hot topic which has a lot of interest also with our students. One of our most popular professors, Professor Hitendra Patel, who leads a very successful innovation center in the US, runs the High Performance Innovation course, where we really go much more into depth in how important innovation are, how big the barriers could be you find in organizations, in industries, and what can enable you to actually convince people to go and be disruptive and try out new things and create followers. We have a dedicated business innovation scholarship, and so students can apply for that scholarship. There will be more information on that in our consequent email follow-up after that webinar. Now, many of you may have heard about the Hult Global Case Challenge. That's another example of an innovation which was driven by one of our MBA students who wanted to create a collaborative network of the top business schools in the world working together to solve the world's most pressing issues. And so every year we grant a $1 million award to the winning ideas from schools like Harvard, MIT, Hult, which President Clinton then awards and which the NGO then actually uses to implement that winning idea and to drive change and to create a more sustainable world for all of us. So studying at Hult, you all have a chance to participate there, and if your team has the winning idea, you can fly to New York, offered by the school. Now, just to round up, our school is today the world's most international business school. We are ranked #1 for international experience. We have campuses, as you can see on that screen, all around the world, and we have a very important application deadline coming up this Sunday, the following Sunday on June 24th. So if you're interested, please do not forget, seeing the high demand our school has, to register online on our website hult.edu. There are still some seats available, and there are still some scholarship opportunities which we can offer to high-profile candidates. With that, I would now like to open up the floor for the first questions. And the first question I see is actually a question for Jens. Okay, and Jens, you've got a question from one of our audience participants who asks you, how many innovations are introduced at Google every year? So please bear with us. We're going to give the speakerphone back to Jens, who will certainly answer that question.
The number is actually very difficult to measure. The only thing I can say is I get daily mails with asks for dog food. So at the end of the day, I would say it's definitely more than one, if you want to, one innovation per day. But it's very, very difficult to say how many really there are, because the question is how many big projects. I mean, isn't innovation only a big project, or is it already the small ones? I think there is a constant flow, and definitely more than once per day.
Okay, we have a second question coming in from Olga for you, Jens. Olga says, hi, she would like to know if Google has a certain department or a working group for accumulating ideas of associates, evaluating them and making them work.
Not really. At least, maybe there is one. Maybe I don't know it, or I don't see it this way. But I think it's more an open, like a fair. So just to give you an example, we have once a quarter or once half a year, we have people coming from engineering to our sales and business development department looking for 20% projects. And we as business development and sales, we go to these kind of fairs just to see whether we have fits, like somebody needs new functionalities and systems, or new product features, or whatsoever, and we try to find engineers that are interested in developing those. And in most of the time, we have more engineers than requests. So it's not like a group accumulating, but it's more like platforms bringing those who need innovation or who have ideas for innovation together with those who can deliver innovation. I hope this answers your question.
Okay, so we have a few more questions for you, Jens. We're going to answer actually all of the questions for Google first. We have another question coming in from Christian, who asks, according to Google experience, do the highest number of innovations come from new people, new team members, or from existing long-established employees? Do you see a pattern?
Very good. Okay. That's a very, very good question. Actually, I don't know. My personal experience is that it's very good to have new blood on board. Actually, that's a German expression. I hope you understand what I mean. So new people actually come with new views, with new expectations, with new viewpoints on several products or business models. So in my personal experience, new people are definitely a very, very good source for innovation, definitely.
Okay, so we have another question coming in from Philip, who asks, what are Google's criteria and processes to rate projects and their possible success? Looking at the idea which you presented before, Jens, innovation needs boundaries. Because Philip says it doesn't seem to be very easy to standardize innovation ratings, as innovations tend to be very different and wide in the context of Google.
No, that's absolutely true. I think for the bigger project is definitely a normal ROI process that we established. The difference I see between Google and other companies is it's not that, let's say, academic or administration-based. A business plan that I see is more like a one-pager than a book of 100 pages. So ROI is definitely something that's very important. For the smaller ones, I think it's pretty much the same, but maybe it's a little bit more flexible for the smaller things, especially for the 20% projects that I mentioned before.
Mm-hmm. Jens, we have another question coming from Jerome. Jerome says that innovation is at the core of the startup companies, but how can a company as big as Google balance innovation and barriers, limitations that come from processes? And by processes, he means regulatory compliance standards.
I think first of all, I think it's a cultural thing rather than a size thing. I couldn't believe it before I joined Google, but I believe that even a company as big as Google can keep innovation at the core of your culture as long as it is lived and as long as it's promoted by management and senior management. I think that is very, very important. On the other hand, of course, you have to comply with regulation, and in my view, I would say regulation is one of the boundaries, but sometimes even a motor for innovation. A boundary because there are things that you cannot do or shouldn't be doing due to regulation. On the other hand, regulation also can start an innovation process as you need to find new ways of, I don't know, communicating with customers, delivering services, and so forth.
Okay, then we have a question from Victoria for you, which says, how important is an MBA to open doors at Google and global leadership in general?
Okay, the thing is, as I said in my principle number 2, hire the right people or get the right people. Of course, we look at an academic record as well, and you know, finding the best people also implies looking at their academic record, and an MBA or an EMBA is definitely something we look at, and which is important in the recruiting process.
Okay, then we have one question actually which is targeted at Hult, which says, how does Hult help open doors to accelerate the careers of their MBA or EMBA students? So to answer that question, we have dedicated career service centers and corporate relations centers around the world. So we don't just have one, but we have 5 career service centers and 5 corporate relations centers in each of our regions, whether it's, in China, in US, we actually have 2, one in Silicon Valley, one in Boston, then Middle East and Europe. And we obviously have an incredible alumni network in over 130 countries across all industries and functions. So the networking power, not only of the class with which you will study, but the alumni in general, provides great career perspectives. And then our students are very proactive as well, and there are many student-led support associations and clubs helping them and enabling them to open up new doors. That is exactly, that entrepreneurial spirit which we at Hult love and which we as a school also encourage. Is we have students who create InnoTech summits where they create competitions where students can submit ideas for technology startup companies, and where Hult then gives a grant helping that company to start up. The same with the Hult Global Case Challenge, where we give a $1 million grant. So I'd say, it is also very much about, what you do to make your EMBA work, but from our side, we definitely have dedicated teams around the world to help you succeed. Okay, then let me see if we still have one closing question for Google. We had another one for Google, which was, is there pressure at Google from shareholders to monetize innovation? And how do you measure success for your sustainability innovations?
First of all, is that pressure from the shareholders? I mean, I personally, in the way I feel at Google, I don't feel so much pressure from the shareholders. I think it's more like we are a group of people who love innovation, who love to be creative, and who love to build new things. So I don't feel it like innovation is something where that the innovation process is under the pressure from shareholders. I don't think so. I mean, we always look for new business models, definitely, and growth is definitely something we look at in our daily business. But I think, yeah, it's not different for Google than for any other company that is seen as a growth company. And the second part of the question, which was, can you just
sustainability? It was sustainability, because Google also wants to be a force for the good, right? You invest a lot into sustainability, and so how do you measure sustainability innovations? Do you have a mission like Unilever? The Unilever CEO just recently announced he wants to double revenues by 2020 and halve the impact on environmental and social factors in the world.
I think that's a very important question. The problem I have is that talking about sustainability at Google would probably be another half an hour or something like that. We want to be a green company, definitely, even though we consume a lot of electricity, no question. We have a lot of data centers, but we always make sure that the green the green aspect is part of that. So we take care of electricity production as well, and we try to focus on solar technology or water technology, wind technology, and so forth. So this is actually part of our mission, and KPIs are slightly different than ROI.
Okay, thank you, Jens. Now I have two more questions also for Hult, one from Christian and one from Jerome. Christian is asking, what is the Hult MBA rank in the Financial Times? Now, Christian, Hult is ranked in the overall rankings of the Financial Times #1 in international experience. The full-time MBA program is at the rank 69. The reason why we rank in the Financial Times a little lower than in the Economist ranking, which ranks us under the top 20 business schools in the US and top 30 worldwide, is that the Financial Times put a lot of focus on academic research and how often the research published by your faculty actually gets cited in other faculties' research. And as we are a school which is extremely entrepreneurial and put much more focus on the applied learning, on the close interaction with companies, we actually put much less on the research side, even though we of course also do research and do publish research. Actually, there was a great book issued by two Harvard professors last year called Rethinking the MBA, where the whole MBA industry in general said we need to move away from just learning skills and focusing too much on the theoretical research and frameworks, more into applied learning. So our school is adopting that philosophy since its start. Now, Jerome has asked that he knows that if he is admitted to Hult in London, that he can attend courses in Shanghai during the Global Rotation Program, and is this also valid for other campuses, because he's also interested in Boston. Yes, Jerome, all of our campuses are open to you, so if you study at Hult, you could rotate to all 5 of them, because you'd spend the first part of your program in your primary campus, which most people choose to be close to their work and life location, but then during the summer months, May, June, July, August, we offer this very diverse elective course program, and we have students who actually then in the first month go to Shanghai, and the following ones then go to Dubai, and in the following year then they do the 2 US campuses. So yes, that is one of the advantages at Hult, because all of these campuses belong to us. You can rotate. Okay, you're welcome, Sharon. Okay, does anybody else still have one final question? Then please do send us a chat message right now, because otherwise we are going to close today's webinar. I would like to thank, together with the Hult team, Jens very much for sharing inspiration from Google. It's always a pleasure to have Google with us. Very inspiring company, I'm sure you'd agree. And I would like to thank all of the attendants for your attention and for the many questions you shared with us. We are going to follow up with a survey on the webinar, and this is going to be the start of a series of webinars which hopefully will provide you with many interesting leadership insights from the world's most admired companies. Thank you.